Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of the Honda CRF 450
Yeah.
using a pretty cool article called Honda CRF 450, Unleashing Ultimate Off-Road Performance.
Nice.
It was published just a few days ago on December 8th, 2024.
Okay.
Now, even if you're not like a die-hard motocross fan,
Yeah.
stick with us because this deep dive is going to kind of uncover what makes this machine so popular
Yeah.
and why it's such a legend. And we're also going to explore all the different types of CRF 450s that Honda's come up with.
Right.
There's like a whole family of these bikes out there.
That's right.
It's really interesting. So to kind of kick things off,
Mhm.
maybe you can tell us a bit about, what is the Honda CRF 450 known for?
Yeah, I think one of the most fascinating things about the CR450 is its reputation.
Yeah.
It's known for its top-notch performance.
Mhm.
It's really kind of a leader in the motocross world.
Yeah.
And it also features some really cutting-edge technology. I think Honda has done a really great job of balancing power and agility,
Yeah.
but also durability. It's known as a bike that you can really kind of have for a really long time.
Yeah. I've always kind of thought of it
Yeah.
as, a pro rider's bike.
Right.
But this article mentions that it appeals to serious enthusiasts, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I could actually picture myself on one of these things.
That's the thing about it is that
Yeah.
it offers that professional grade performance,
Right.
but it's still accessible to someone who,
Yeah.
just loves riding and is a serious enthusiast.
Mm-hmm. Now, the article is all about the 2025 model,
Right.
which is, the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
It seems like they've really kind of fine-tuned the performance even more.
Yeah.
Added some new features. But
Yes.
before we get lost on all the bells and whistles,
Mm-hmm.
let's maybe talk a little about the basic specs of the bike.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at the spec sheet here, and whoa,
Yeah.
449.7 cc engine.
That might sound a little intimidating to some,
Yeah.
but it's not just about raw power.
Right.
It's really about how that power is delivered and controlled.
Okay.
And that's where the CRF450 really excels.
So it's not going to feel like I'm wrestling a wild beast,
Yeah.
even with an engine that size.
No, not at all. It's surprisingly manageable,
Okay.
and that's partly due to its relatively light weight. It comes in at 249 pounds,
Mm.
which is lighter than some of its rivals.
Okay.
And you also have a 5-speed transmission for smooth shifting
Mhm.
and a super sturdy aluminum twin spar frame.
Okay, hold on. You said aluminum frame.
Yeah.
Does that make it flimsy?
Actually, quite the opposite. Aluminum is incredibly strong and lightweight.
Okay.
And that's absolutely crucial for a bike that needs to be
Yeah.
both nimble and durable. So it really helps the CRF 450 handle precisely,
Yeah.
especially when maneuvering at speed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's sturdy light and has this
Yeah.
powerful engine, but, the article mentions a bunch of other really cool features.
Yeah.
It's like they rated a sci-fi movie set.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the deal with this HRC launch control?
Yeah. So think of those nail-biting race starts
Oh,
where
okay.
every split second counts, right?
Yeah.
Launch control is really designed to give riders an edge
Mm-hmm.
by optimizing acceleration right off the line.
Okay.
And the cool thing about the CRF 450 system
Yeah.
is that it lets you choose from 3 different modes
Okay.
to actually fine-tune your launch based on the track surface.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's dry, muddy, or somewhere in between,
Right.
you can adjust it for maximum traction and get that perfect start.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
And then there's this Honda Selectable Torque Control,
Yeah.
the HSTC.
The HSTC.
Yeah.
What's the story with that?
Yeah, so imagine you're on a steep, slippery trail,
Okay.
and you don't want to lose control.
Right.
The HSTC is kind of like your safety net.
Mm-hmm.
It prevents wheel spin by carefully managing the engine's power delivery.
It gives you more stability and confidence,
Yeah.
especially on challenging terrain.
Right.
And just like the launch control, you have 3 levels of traction control to choose from.
Wow.
So you can really dial it in to match the conditions in your riding style.
All right, so you've got launch control, traction control,
Mhm.
and then there's this thing called the engine mode select button, or EMSB.
Right.
What is that all about?
So essentially, it gives you 3 preset engine maps,
Okay.
each tailored for a different riding experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your standard mode, which is your go-to for everyday riding.
Okay.
It's a balanced blend of performance and stability.
Okay. That sounds pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other modes?
So then you have smooth mode.
Okay.
This one prioritizes traction, so it's ideal for slippery surfaces where you need a bit more grip.
Yeah.
And finally, we have aggressive mode.
Aggressive mode. Okay, that sounds a
Yeah.
bit more my speed.
All
What
right.
does that do?
That's where you unleash the full potential of the CRF 450. It delivers maximum power and a sharper throttle response.
Hmm.
So it's perfect for experienced riders who want to push the limits or
Yeah.
hit those high speeds, or you need that extra burst to overtake someone on the track.
Whoa. I could already picture myself flying down the track in aggressive mode.
Yeah, exactly
But
that.
there's also something about a works edition.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty elite.
Yeah.
What's so special about that one?
So the Works Edition is like the tricked out version
Yeah.
of the CRF 450R.
Yeah.
It takes performance to the next level.
Okay.
So we're talking upgrades like a high-performance Yoshimura exhaust,
Mm-hmm.
hand-finished intake ports,
Oh, wow.
premium suspension tuning,
Well,
and even lightweight modifications to shave off those precious ounces.
gotcha.
So it's really the dream bike for serious racers and those who
Mm.
demand the absolute best.
Wow. All right. So we've got a beast of an engine,
Mm-hmm.
a super strong and light frame, and a whole suite of features that make this bike
Yeah.
sound incredibly high-tech and adaptable.
Right.
But here's where it gets even more interesting for me.
Okay.
The article dives into all the different types of CRF 450 models
Right.
that are out there.
Yeah.
And it's not just about motocross.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of off-road possibilities with this bike.
Exactly.
So what are we looking at here?
So you hit the nail on the head. Honda hasn't just created one bike.
Right.
They've really developed a whole family of CRF 450s, each one fine-tuned for a specific purpose.
Okay.
So you have the CRF 450R, which is that flagship motocross model
Okay.
built for speed and agility on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the CRF 450X,
Well,
which is geared more towards off-road exploration. It has a larger fuel tank for those long rides
okay.
and a more relaxed riding position for all-day comfort.
So there's a CRF 450 that's designed for like cruising around off the beaten path.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are there even more?
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
We've got the CRF 450RL, which is the dual sport model. What's really cool about that is it's actually street legal.
Wow.
So it has lights, mirrors, turn signals, everything you need to ride it both on and off-road.
Yeah.
So you could commute to work during the week
That's amazing.
and then hit the trails on the weekend all on the same bike.
A CRF 450 that can do it all. What other members of this family are there?
All right, so for those who live for the thrill of cross-country racing,
Yeah.
there's the CRF 450RX.
Okay.
It really blends the best of motocross and off-road riding.
Mm-hmm.
It's got upgraded suspension, a large fuel tank for those long hauls,
Yeah.
and the geometry is optimized for conquering those demanding off-road courses.
So it's like the marathon runner of the CRF 450 family.
That's a great way to put it.
What about the last one?
And finally, we have the CRF 450S,
Okay.
which is a little bit more specialized.
Yeah.
It's designed for trail riding and exploration,
Mm-hmm.
but with a strong emphasis on comfort and control.
Okay.
It even has a lower seat height, which makes it more accessible for a wider range of riders.
So that's like the CRF 450 for the rider.
Yeah.
Who's maybe just starting out or wants a more relaxed experience.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we've got a CRF 450 for pretty much every
Yeah.
type of rider and riding style out there.
Right.
But how does it stack up against the competition?
That's a great question, and that's something we'll dive into next. We'll be looking at how the CRF 450 compares to some of its rivals,
Okay.
like the Yamaha YZ450F,
Yeah.
the Kawasaki KX450,
Mhm.
and the KTM 450 SXF.
All right. So we've got a good overview of the CRF 450, its
Mhm.
features, and the different models available.
Yeah.
But let's get into the nitty-gritty details
Okay.
about design and comfort.
Yeah.
What makes this bike so rider-friendly?
Right.
Especially when you're talking about long rides or intense races.
So that's really where the CRF 450's engineering shines.
Okay.
You remember that aluminum twin spar frame we talked about?
Yeah.
It plays a huge role in the bike's overall agility and handling. You know, it's designed to give you that precise, effortless feel,
Right.
especially when you're maneuvering at speed.
So it's not just about being light and strong. It's
Yeah.
also about how it feels to ride.
Exactly. And Honda hasn't overlooked rider comfort either.
Yeah.
So the seat is designed to be ergonomic.
Mm.
The bodywork is slimmed down for better mobility.
Oh.
And even the foot pegs, handlebars, and control levers are placed
Yeah.
to minimize fatigue and maximize control.
Right.
It's all about making the rider feel connected to the machine, in control,
Yeah.
and comfortable even during those intense rides.
It sounds like they've really put a lot of thought into every detail.
Right.
Now, the article also highlights some key advantages of the CRF 450.
Mm-hmm.
It mentions versatile riding modes, which we touched on earlier.
Right.
How do those customizable engine maps and torque control
Right.
really translate to a better riding experience?
Yeah, so think of it like this.
Okay.
Those adjustable features really let you fine-tune the bike to match your riding style and the terrain you're tackling.
Okay.
So you can dial in the power delivery and traction control
Yeah.
for everything from smooth-flowing trails to muddy technical climbs and
Right.
everything in between. It's like having multiple bikes in one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it also mentions the exceptional suspension.
Yeah.
What's so special about the CRF 450's suspension system?
So for starters, it's fully adjustable.
Okay.
So that means you can dial in the settings
Good.
to suit your weight, your riding style, and the type of terrain that you're on.
Cool.
So whether you're hitting jumps on the motocross track or
Wow.
navigating rocky trails, you can fine-tune the suspension
No.
for optimal stability and comfort.
Okay.
You get 12.2 inches of travel both front and rear,
Wow.
which means it can soak up some serious bumps and keep you in control.
12.2 inches. That's a lot of travel.
That's a lot of travel.
And what about this lightweight durability that
Yeah.
they keep mentioning? Is that just about the aluminum frame?
The aluminum frame is a big part of it.
Okay.
But it's also about how they've engineered the entire bike.
Right.
They've really managed to achieve that balance of strength and lightness,
Yep.
which translates directly into better performance.
Yep.
So it's strong enough to handle
Yeah.
the punishment of off-road riding while being light enough to maneuver effortlessly.
Okay. And of course, we have to talk about those race-ready features,
Right.
especially in the Works Edition.
Yeah.
It sounds like Honda took all their racing experience
Yeah.
and poured it into that top-tier model.
Absolutely. The Works Edition is all about giving serious riders those extra advantages
Yeah.
right out of the gate. It's really the culmination
Yeah.
of years of testing and refinement at the highest levels of competition.
But let's be real for a second. No bike is perfect.
Right.
Are there any drawbacks to the CRF 450 that we should be aware of?
Of course, every bike has its trade-offs.
Yeah.
The article does mention a few things to consider.
Okay.
So for one, maintaining a high-performance machine like this
Right.
requires a little bit more attention, and those parts don't come cheap.
So you're saying it might be a bit more expensive to maintain
Yeah.
compared to a more basic off-road bike?
It's definitely something to keep in mind.
Okay.
And that limited fuel capacity might mean
Yeah.
more frequent pit stops, especially on long rides,
Yeah.
where gas stations are few and far between.
Right. So planning your route and knowing where you can refuel is
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
anything else.
Well, it's also worth noting that most of the CRF 450 models
Mm-hmm.
are designed for off-road use only.
Okay.
So unless you opt for that street-legal CRF 450 RL,
Right.
you won't be cruising down the highway on this bike.
Okay. So factor in maintenance costs,
Right.
fuel range,
Right.
and whether or not you need a street legal bike.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
This article talks about the huge popularity of the Honda CRF 450,
Mhm.
especially in the USA.
Right.
What is it about this bike that resonates so strongly with American riders?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
So first, you have Honda's reputation for building reliable machines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, American riders, especially those who venture
Yeah.
far from civilization,
Right.
they really value a bike they can trust.
Yeah.
And the Sierra 450 has earned a reputation for being able to take a beating and keep running,
Right.
which is a huge plus.
Reliability is definitely key when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
What else contributes to its popularity?
I think it also aligns with American off-road culture. You know, the U.S. has a long history of off-road riding, motocross,
Right.
and just exploring wide open spaces.
Yeah.
And the Sierra 450 really embodies that spirit of adventure and pushing limits,
Yeah.
which resonates with a lot of American riders.
So it's not just a bike, it's part of a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the performance.
Right.
And this bike is a beast.
Yeah.
And American riders tend to appreciate power and capability,
Right.
and the Sierra 450 delivers that in spades.
All right, so we've got reliability, a cultural connection, and performance.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Well, American riders also love to personalize their bikes.
Yeah.
And the CRF 450 is kind of a blank canvas for customization.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge aftermarket for parts and accessories.
Right.
So you can tweak and tune this bike to your heart's content.
Okay, so it's a combination of reliability,
Yeah.
cultural alignment, performance,
Um,
and customization options.
all right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious,
Okay.
with all these different CRF 450 models to choose from,
Right.
how do you know which one is right for you?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's what we're going to explore next.
Okay.
We'll delve deeper into each model,
Mhm.
their unique strengths, and the types of riders that
Yeah.
they're best suited for.
All right, so stay tuned. We're about to go even deeper into the world of the Honda CRF 450.
That's right. Welcome back. So we just finished exploring this wide world of CRF 450 models.
Yeah.
So I think now let's maybe shift gears a bit and really zoom in on the one that really embodies that racing spirit, the
Ah.
CRF 450R.
Yeah, the CRF 450R.
Mhm.
This is the one that you see flying through the air
Right.
on the motocross courses.
Mhm.
What makes this one so special? Is it all about raw power?
Well, it certainly doesn't lack power.
Right.
We're talking a 449.7 cc engine,
Mhm.
liquid-cooled, single-cylinder, four-stroke.
Okay.
It's engineered for that instant,
Yeah.
aggressive acceleration that you need to get ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
But it's more than just brute force.
Okay.
The responsiveness is key here.
What do you mean by responsiveness?
It's how quickly and precisely the engine reacts to your commands.
Okay.
You twist the throttle and the power is right there,
Yeah.
ready to launch you forward or maneuver through tight turns.
Yeah.
That kind of control is really crucial in motocross.
Got it. So power ND control.
Exactly.
What about the transmission? I'm guessing it's got to be pretty slick
Yeah.
to handle all that power.
It's a 5-speed manual transmission, which gives the rider a very direct connection to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Fast, precise gear changes are absolutely essential in a race,
Right.
and this transmission really delivers.
Okay, so we've got a powerful, responsive engine
Mm-hmm.
paired with the transmission that keeps you in control.
Yeah,
But can the frame and suspension keep up with all that?
absolutely. We keep talking about that lightweight aluminum twin spar frame.
Yeah.
It's not just about keeping the bike light, it's about agility and handling.
Okay.
Think of it like, the skeleton of a cheetah.
Okay.
Strong, lightweight, built for speed and quick turns.
So it's like the bike becomes an extension of the rider's body,
So it's
flowing effortlessly through the corner.
Exactly. And then there's the suspension.
Okay.
The CRF 450R uses top-of-the-line components.
Yeah.
So 49mm inverted telescopic forks in the front
Mm-hmm.
and a ProLink single shock in the rear.
I'm guessing these are adjustable.
Fully adjustable.
Okay.
Which means you can fine-tune them to match your weight or your riding style.
Right. And the conditions of the track.
Yeah.
We're talking about 12.2 inches of travel at both ends,
Okay.
which is just amazing for absorbing those bumps and jumps
Right.
and keeping you in control.
12.2 inches. That's a lot of travel.
That's a lot of travel.
It sounds like it can handle some serious airtime.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on all these cool tech features yet.
Yeah.
Those really stood out to me in the article.
Yeah. The CRF 450R is loaded with tech that can really give you an edge on the track.
Okay.
So let's start with that HRC launch control we talked about earlier.
All right.
Remember, it's all about getting that perfect start.
Yeah, a good launch can really make or break a race.
That's right.
How does the CRF 450R system work?
So it basically optimizes acceleration,
Okay.
right, when you take off from the starting line.
Mm-hmm.
It prevents wheel spin and maximizes traction.
Okay.
And the really cool thing is that it has 3 adjustable modes.
Okay.
So you can actually dial it in for different track surfaces. So dry, muddy, whatever you're dealing with.
Exactly.
You can adjust it for the best launch.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
And what about that Honda selectable torque control, the
Yeah.
HSTC?
Yeah, I remember that. Sounded interesting.
Yeah, so the HSTC is your best friend when things get slippery or technical.
Okay.
It really helps prevent wheel spin by
Right.
managing the engine's power delivery.
Okay.
So it gives you that extra stability and control,
Right.
especially when you're really pushing the bike hard.
So you're less likely to lose control even in challenging conditions.
Exactly.
Okay.
And like the launch control, it also has 3 levels of adjustability, so you
Mhm.
can really fine tune it
Right.
to your riding style and the track conditions.
Okay, so that's launch control and traction control.
Mm-hmm.
What about that engine mode select button?
Right.
The EMSB, I'm still a little fuzzy on that one.
Yeah, so the EMSB gives you 3 preset engine maps,
Okay.
each with kind of a different personality.
Okay.
It's like having 3 different bikes in one.
Right.
So you have standard mode,
All right.
which offers a balanced blend of power and control.
Right. So that's probably your go-to
Yeah.
for most situations.
Yeah.
What are the other modes like?
So then you have smooth mode.
Okay.
This one tones down the power delivery a little bit. It
Yeah.
gives you more control and makes the bike a bit more forgiving,
Yeah.
especially on those slippery surfaces.
So for those moments when you need a bit more finesse and control,
Exactly.
what about the third one?
Ah, yes. aggressive mode.
Okay.
This is where you unleash the full fury of the CRF 450R's engine. It's
Yeah.
all about maximum power and responsiveness,
Mm,
but it's definitely for those experienced riders
right.
who can really handle that level of performance.
Okay, so I might want to stay away from that one for now.
Yeah, you might want to work your way up to that one.
But even with all this tech,
Yeah.
it's still got to be comfortable to ride right,
Mm-hmm.
especially during those long motos.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
Honda has really paid attention to rider comfort and ergonomics.
Okay.
So, that slim bodywork
Yeah.
really allows for greater freedom of movement,
Right.
which is crucial when you're maneuvering on the track.
And what about things like the seat and the controls?
So the seat is ergonomically designed
Okay.
to provide support and comfort
Mhm.
even during those long, intense races.
Yeah.
And all the controls from the handlebars to
Mhm.
the foot pegs to the levers
Yeah.
are really strategically placed
Okay.
to reduce fatigue and promote control.
Gotcha.
It's all about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where the rider feels really connected to the machine in control and comfortable,
Right.
even when they're pushing the limit.
It sounds like they've really thought of everything.
Yeah.
But I have to ask,
Yeah.
is the CRF 450R just for serious racers?
Well, it's definitely designed for those
I
who are
see.
really passionate about motocross
Right.
and want to kind of push their riding to the next level.
Yeah.
But, it can be a great bike for any experienced rider
Mm-hmm.
who wants that top-tier performance,
Huh.
even if they're not competing.
So it's not just about winning races.
Right.
It's about experiencing the thrill of
Exactly.
riding a high-performance machine.
Exactly. It's about feeling that connection with the bike,
Mm-hmm.
mastering its capabilities and pushing your own limits.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to be honest with yourself
All right.
about your skill level and your riding goals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a powerful and demanding bike.
Right. You wouldn't want to jump on this thing if you were just starting out.
Exactly.
But for those who are ready for it,
Yeah.
the CRF 450R sounds like an incredible machine.
It really is.
Yeah.
It represents the culmination of Honda's,
Mm.
decades of experience in motocross.
Yeah.
And, they're constantly refining and improving it.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So the CR 450R is all about,
Yeah.
high-performance motocross.
Mm-hmm.
But what about riders who are more interested in exploring trails, tackling hills,
Right.
venturing off the beaten path? What would you recommend for them?
Well, that's where those other CRF 450 models come in.
Okay.
And that's what we'll be exploring next.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of off-road possibilities waiting to be discovered.
Okay, so we've explored, the motocross beast
Right.
that is the CRF 450R.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to get a little mud on the tires and talk about those CRF 450 models that are built for,
Right.
real off-road adventures.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Well, let's journey off the track and into the wild
Okay.
with the CRF 450X.
Okay, the EX.
This model takes that legendary CRF 450 performance
Mm-hmm.
and adapts it for the trails, the hills, the
Yeah.
places where the pavement ends and the real adventure begins.
Okay, so it's still a CRF 450 at heart,
Right.
but it's been tweaked for a different kind of riding.
Exactly.
What are the key differences?
So, think about what you need. When you're out exploring the wilderness,
Mm.
fuel range is crucial. You don't want to be stranded miles from civilization.
Yeah, that's true.
So the CRF 450X has a larger fuel tank than the R model,
All right.
giving you that extended range for those epic off-road excursions.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
You're not going to find a gas station in the middle of the forest.
exactly.
What else sets it apart from the R?
So the riding position is also more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's designed for comfort during those long hours in the saddle.
Right.
It's still a performance-oriented bike,
Mm-hmm.
but with a focus on endurance and all-day comfort.
So it's like the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And then they've also adjusted the suspension
Mhm.
specifically for off-road riding,
Okay.
optimizing it for rocky trails, steep climbs,
Yeah.
and really unpredictable terrain.
Yeah.
It's all about giving you that control and confidence
Yeah.
to handle whatever challenges the wilderness throws at you.
All right. The CRF 450X sounds like a serious adventure machine.
Yeah.
But what about those riders who want a bike that can handle
Right.
both on and off road?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a CRF 450 for them?
Absolutely. That's where the CRF 450 RL comes in.
Okay.
This is the dual sport model,
Yeah.
and it's truly a jack of all trades.
So you're telling me I can ride this thing to work during the week
Yeah,
and beat hit the trails on the weekend?
that's the beauty of it.
Wow.
It's street legal, so it has lights, mirrors, turn signals,
Okay.
all the necessary equipment to meet regulations.
Hmm.
But don't let that fool you.
Okay.
It's still got that core CRF 450 performance,
Right.
so you're not sacrificing off-road capability for
Yeah.
on-road convenience.
Like having the best of both worlds. You don't have to choose between pavement and dirt.
Exactly.
Now, we talked about motocross with the CRF 450R,
Right.
and we've covered off-road exploration and dual sport riding.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? What about riders who are into cross-country racing?
You read my mind. Honda hasn't forgotten about those who love the challenge of cross-country races. So that's where the CRF 450RX shines.
Okay, yeah.
It's designed specifically for those grueling events where speed, endurance, and versatility are really key.
So what makes this one different from the other CRF 450s?
So for starters, it borrows that larger fuel tank from the CRF 450X.
Okay.
Remember, in cross-country racing, you're covering a lot of ground.
Right.
So fuel range is essential.
Yeah, you can't exactly pull over for gas in the middle of a race.
Exactly. And the suspension is tuned specifically for cross-country racing.
Okay.
That provides that balance of stability and responsiveness. You need to really attack challenging terrain at speed.
So it's kind of a blend of the motocross agility and the off-road toughness.
You got it. It's a bike that thrives on pushing limits,
Yeah.
testing endurance, and conquering demanding off-road courses.
Okay, we've covered motocross,
Yeah.
off-road exploration, dual sport riding,
Yeah.
and cross-country racing.
Yeah.
Anything we missed?
There's one more CRF 450 model worth mentioning,
Okay.
and it might be the perfect fit for someone who's, new to off-road riding or just wants a more relaxed and comfortable experience. And that's the CRF 450S.
Oh, that's right. We briefly touched on this one earlier.
Yeah.
What makes it stand out?
Think of it as the CRF 450 that's been tamed a bit.
Okay.
It's still very capable off-road, but it really emphasizes comfort and control.
Okay.
And it has a lower seat height,
Right.
which makes it a little bit easier to handle
Yeah.
for a wider range of riders.
So it's more approachable and forgiving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's still packed with that Honda reliability and build quality,
Yeah.
so it's going to be a dependable companion on the trails.
Wow. Okay, so we've got a whole spectrum of CR 450s to choose from,
Yeah, it's amazing.
each one tailored for a specific type of riding.
Right.
It's incredible how Honda has created this diverse family of bikes, all built on this same high-performance platform.
It's a testament to their engineering
Yeah.
and their understanding of what riders really want.
Right.
Whether you're a seasoned racer, a weekend warrior, or just start in your off-road journey,
Yeah.
there's a CRF 450 out there that's perfect for you.
This has been an incredible deep dive
Yeah.
into the world of the Honda CRF 450. We explored the specs, the features, the different models,
Right.
the reasons behind its popularity, especially in the USA.
Yeah.
We even got a little technical and talked about things like launch control and torque control.
Yeah.
But hopefully in a way that made sense, even if you're not a mechanical engineer.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's clear that the CRF 450
Yeah.
is more than just a bike.
It's more than just a bike.
It's a symbol of performance adventure and freedom to explore
Yeah.
the open road, the trails, and everything in between.
I love that.
It's been a blast getting to know this iconic machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
And we hope you've enjoyed the ride along with us.
Me too.
Now it's your turn to take this knowledge and apply it
Yeah.
to your own riding adventures.
Absolutely.
Whether you're dreaming of hitting the motocross track, exploring the wilderness, or just cruising around your neighborhood,
Right.
maybe the CRF 450 is the bike that will take you there.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep the rubber side down
Yeah.
and happy trails.